Up now, we take a look at energy prices and policies with Forum Daily's weekly energy update. We're joined by Dan McTeague, Senior Petroleum Analyst at Gaswizard.ca.
Well, thank you for that, Nathaniel. And of course, what a week. It's our first week back post-summer. And it looks like markets, at least this part of energy markets, the first part of the week, we're still in panic, nervous mode. The idea of the Fed and the Bank of Canada raising interest rates, overarching concern about inflation, COVID lockdowns in China, Iran being allowed to flood the market, some kind of a deal that they might be able to work out. All of this is speculative, and all of it is significantly ignorant of the fundamentals. Even the idea that inflation is somehow going to bring about that demand destruction hasn't happened, isn't happening, isn't going to happen, especially now, of course, refineries are shutting down and switching over from summer to winter gasoline. That might be the last sort of little bump that we get in terms of prices going down. But I think this is probably the bottom part of the market. A lot to unparcel. Things like, for instance, European Commission, European nations suggesting that they could somehow cap Russian gas and oil. I think that's stuff of fantasy land. I don't think that's going to help. The U.S. continues to use its critical emergency supplies to try to keep oil and gasoline prices down. It's not working very well. Yes, they've come down. But reality is eventually going to really give a jolt to the so-called market bears, people who don't really have an understanding of the fundamentals. The world remains chronically short of supply. And while some would say this is because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, this was a story well in the making with ESG mandates, green mandates, forcing divestment from and investment away from critical replacement of barrels to replace that which we're using now. And that's become rather acute, not just with the war in Eastern Europe, but with the demand picture globally being very, very strong and robust, despite all the naysayers. What this really means is that Canadians could and should expect gas prices to start to move up a little bit post Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So about the 15th of September, we're going to get that drop of 3 or 4 cents a liter because that switch over from summer to winter gasoline. But after that, and starting even as early as this weekend, we could start to see a bit of a U-turn. I see oil is starting to move back up $2 or $3 a barrel. What that means is in places like Vancouver, back to $2 a liter. For Western Canada, a continuation of that Alberta with its low taxes in the 130 range. Saskatchewan, Manitoba in the 150, 149 range. Ontario could see prices moving up where it has been for the past couple of days, remarkable 143.9 in places like Toronto, or a little cheaper. Those are prices we haven't seen since the beginning of the year. And, added to the fact that the province dropped taxes about 6.4 cents a liter, these prices are still remarkably low considering that supply crunch. Same for Quebec. They'll remain in the low 160s, but moving up 3 or 4 cents a liter. In the Maritimes, well, we've seen some pretty good movements in places like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI, where prices have actually come down to 149 in Nova Scotia, 147, as predicted, an 8-cent decrease there. And of course, Newfoundland, which unfortunately has a regulated system. That regulated system continues to act more politically in terms of trying to ensure no one predicts their gas prices. We had the scenario last Thursday where my prediction of an 8-cent a liter drop didn't take place. They waited an extra day to try to, I suspect, make my predictions look bad, but they basically fleeced the public in that province. Obviously, it's good with some there, but I would say to the vast majority of people, the predictions I make also apply to regulated markets. And no matter how they, try to twist around these things, the reality is that they're not hurting me or the credibility that we've established over the past 30 years. They're actually hurting consumers in that province. It's really high time that regulated prices go the way of the dodo bird. Their purpose, their raison d'etre has completely evaporated. There is no reason for them. The market is open, transparent, lots of people predicting gas prices as I've done now. So that's my commentary, Nathaniel, for this week. But I can tell you next week is going to be very interesting as we start to make that rebound. Watch out. I think December prices are going to move right back up, not just for gasoline, but diesel, heating oil, and jet fuel. That's it for this week. Thanks very much, Nathaniel. Back to you.
Well, thanks for that, Dan. Lots to consider, as always. That was Dan McTeague, Senior Petroleum Analyst at Gaswizard.ca. He's also the president of Canadians for Affordable Energy. All right, well, up next, we take a look at the major moves and developments in the digital world. Catherine Murray joins us for Forum Daily's weekly cryptocurrency and digital asset update. So stay with us, we'll have that up next.